He always thought there would be time. Not today, not tomorrow, but someday. He never said it out loud. It was just something he felt quietly, comfortably, like an unspoken promise he made to himself. There was no rush, no emergency. Life wasn't falling apart, and that's exactly why he waited. His days looked normal. He woke up, checked his phone, got ready, and left the house. Work filled the hours. Distractions filled the gaps. Evenings disappeared into screens and silence. Nothing was wrong. People around him would say he was doing fine, responsible, stable, on track, and he believed them, because believing that was easier than asking uncomfortable questions. Sometimes, in the quiet moments, a strange feeling appeared. Not sadness, not fear, just a subtle weight. It showed up when he saw old photos, when he passed places he once dreamed of going, when conversations ended with, "Yeah, maybe one day." He felt it, but only briefly. Then he told himself what he always did. There's still time. And just like that, the feeling faded. He had plans, not written down, not scheduled, just plans floating somewhere in the future. Things he wanted to learn, things he wanted to change, versions of himself he hoped to become. But none of it felt urgent, because tomorrow always looked the same as today, and today felt safe. So he waited. Years don't announce themselves when they pass. They don't knock. They don't ask permission. They slip by quietly, one routine at a time, one excuse at a time, one later, after another. He didn't notice the days turning into years. Why would he? Everything still looked normal. Then one evening, nothing special happened. No bad news, no dramatic moment, no sudden loss, just silence. He sat alone, doing what he had done 1,000 times before, scrolling, waiting, killing time. And for the first time, a thought didn't leave. It stayed, heavy, uncomfortable. What if this is it? He looked back, not at one big mistake, but at many small ones. Moments he postponed, chances he ignored, feelings he pushed aside, not because he was lazy, not because he didn't care, but because he thought he had time. That thought had followed him everywhere, protected him from urgency, protected him from change. And now, it felt dangerous. He realized something painful. His life wasn't falling apart. It was slowly slipping away, quietly. No warning signs, no alarms, just time leaving. Regret doesn't always come as panic. Sometimes it arrives calmly. It sits beside you and whispers truths you avoided for years. He saw how often he had chosen comfort over growth, silence over honesty, waiting over action, not once, but again and again. And suddenly, all those later moments felt very far away. He wished someone had told him earlier. That time doesn't feel expensive until you've spent too much of it. That waiting feels harmless until it becomes a habit. That someday is not a place you eventually arrive at. But no one tells you that, because everyone else is waiting too. There was no dramatic decision that night, no overnight transformation, no big speech, just a quiet understanding. If he didn't start now, he never would. Change didn't feel exciting. It felt small, almost insignificant. But for the first time, he stopped telling himself there was time. He didn't know what the future would look like. He didn't know if it would work. But he finally understood something simple. Waiting had cost him more than trying ever could. And that's when he stood up. Not because everything was clear, but because he didn't want to sit there again, years later, thinking the same thought. Because the truth is, you think you have time, until one day, you realize you don't. If this story made you pause, don't scroll away. Subscribe for stories that remind you why now matters more than someday.